Hi, welcome back to AFTV and welcome to the preview for the Brentford versus Arsenal EFL Cup game. Kick-off at 7:45 p.m. here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Capacity around 18,000 tickets to be sold, and you know, it is quite a small capacity. I think a lot of people are struggling to get tickets for this game, but it's going to be here at the G-Tech Community Stadium, a lovely one from what I remember from being here last season. It's funny actually, last time we did a preview was running from the rain from the North London derby, and now it's lovely and sunny. For now. But listen, talking about that, before we get into the preview, there's a fallout from that derby game. I know we didn't get a result we wanted. I think a lot of people expected 3 points. We ended up coming out of a draw. But looking ahead, we have a cup game against Brentford. Laurie, how are your thoughts on that game coming up this Wednesday?
I'm actually looking forward to the game. We've not done that well in this competition in previous years. I mean, I think last year we got knocked out in the first round. Well, it was the third round, but it was our first game in the tournament to Brighton. I think it was 3-1.
Yeah.
We've only ever won the competition twice. It is a major trophy, despite what some fans say.
Consider it a major trophy, yeah?
Yeah, of course, man. 2 major domestic trophies, FA Cup and the Carabao Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've done very well in the FA Cup over the years, but our record in the Carabao Cup is not that great. So let's put it right this year.
Okay, James, how are you feeling about this? You know, Laurie just said a major trophy there. Is it one you expect also be taken serious?
Yeah, I've always lived by this kind of mentality that there's so few honours to actually win in football that I don't really understand why fan bases want to play anything down. You know, like we said, all the evidence is there to care about this competition. And I know that some will say, well, the Arsene Wengers and other managers, and many have rotated heavily in this, but I think that's more just a showing of their priority of certain competitions. When you get to the semis and the final, I don't know anyone who's ever kind of rotated heavily and not really cared about the fact they've got that far. And like I said, there's so few trophies to win in an era where Man City clean up so much.
Yeah.
By the way,
They take
won this competition 4 years in a row. You know, one that Mourinho would often win before he'd go on to win the title. He kind of saw it as like a stepping stone towards building on to other and greater things. I don't ridicule any of them. And people laugh at me when I even say that, you know, when we're in the Community Shield, I want to win it. If we lose, do I care? Not that much. But if you win it, you enjoy it. Because like I said, these days at Wembley and these honours are few and far between. Now, the Community Shield doesn't enter the realm of Carabao, then FA, then whatever.
But enjoy it.
But I'm sort of saying in principle that I will find it unacceptable if Arsenal go out of this competition as well. And I think that's a standard we should maintain for the club that we all believe should be winning trophies.
Nice.
I remember when we went out to Brighton last year.
Yeah,
I was really,
Yeah.
can I use the word? Pissed off.
yeah.
You can use
You
that
know what I
word
mean?
all you want.
Because it's a competition that we should be trying to win.
Yeah.
And okay, Brighton are a good side, we know that, but even so, to go out at the first available stage, 3-1, was for me very disappointing. In fact, we were disappointing in all the cups last season, if you remember.
Yeah.
FA Cup went out.
Against City,
Even in the Europa League, going out when we did to Sporting, I was very deflated after that. So.
I'm glad we're all on the same page then, because I feel the same. As much as I kind of try to ridicule a little bit Laurie there, I think every trophy, like I said, there's not many, you've got to take them serious. And you know, we rotated in the FA Cup and we lost to City, but I feel like that was a cup we should be taking serious. I know we won it the most, but you know, we should be taking serious. Same with this cup as well. We haven't won it many times at all, but I hope we do take this serious.
Last time we won it was 1993, I believe.
Wow. Before I was born, and you, my friend.
We're 95, baby,
I wish I could say it was before I was born, but I can't. But even so, that is a hell of a long time ago.
Very long time ago. Let me run through the head-to-head. So we've drawn 1, we've won 3 times against Brentford in the last 5 and lost 1. We drew at home. Just noticeably as well, we beat them 3-0 here. I don't know if you guys remember that fixture. Ethan Nwaneri, he made a debut as well, and you know, Ty was calling, "Where's Ivan Toney?" It was a really good game. I think we were the only team, or there was one or two teams to beat them at home as well. So they are normally actually really good at their home ground. And also we beat them in the EFL Cup 3-1. Ages ago.
Welbeck was on the score sheet. Unai Emery days, yeah, I remember.
I love doing this when you're here because I know your brain goes, oh, let me just see what I can remember. Monreal was playing. There were some players that you just, basically the only players that are still here today are Emile Smith-Rowe, and Eddie Nketiah was on the bench for that game.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ollie Watkins was actually very good for Brentford when I remember watching back some of the highlights as well. But it's always nice to have a think back. But we beat them then. Hopefully we can beat them come this Wednesday. I'm going to go through their last 5 results. They lost to Everton 3-1. 2-1. They lost to...
That was a surprise for me, that was.
That was a surprise to you, yeah?
Yeah, they got beaten like that by Everton.
Yeah.
So convincingly. I
3-1.
was expecting them to win that game.
Agreed. Newcastle, they lost to 1-0, which I think people would have expected. A draw against Bournemouth, 2-2 as well in their last 5. They went to penalties with Newport County in the round before this as well, which was interesting, but they won that 3-0. And then they drew 1-1 to Crystal Palace as well in our last 5. We're still unbeaten. Think about it, we're true to Tottenham Hotspur, beating PSV 4-0, 1-0 win against Everton, a 3-1 win against Man United at home, and obviously we beat Palace as well, 1-0.
It's really, that's really not a disastrous return. You know, to start your Champions League campaign with a 4-0 win, and then our last 3 Premier League games being 2 of the big 6 at home and Goodison Park away, we've picked up 7 from 9. Yes, the disappointment comes from the fact that we led against Tottenham and played pretty poorly. We led against Fulham and threw it away against 10 men. So, you know, that is the context. When you look at the way we're playing, that's disappointing. But I don't understand why we should. I mean, I've got a bit of a moody frown on today as we're recording this, because I think it's still
I thought it was the sun.
North London, well, partly North London derby hangover and all that. But I think we need to pick ourselves up quickly, because as a fan base, I think sometimes we need to represent what we want our team to be a little bit. And can you imagine if all the players walk into training today like, oh, you know, I just don't know if I don't know if the season's going to be all that now. It's like, no, come on. They got to bounce back and respond, and I want us to do the same here.
Agreed.
I want us to come here and put in a performance. I want the fans to enjoy it. I want us to book ourselves a place in the 4th, because it's one of these competitions, the Carabao Cup. You win 2-3 games and suddenly, oh, we're in the semis.
Yeah.
Like, it can be like that. And when you've got so much other football going that feels like it has such high stakes, I think it's refreshing to play in other cup competitions. Mix up a little bit. I mean, he's going to have to rotate, and we will talk about it in the Predict 11 video. But I don't want us to just sort of brush this off as some nothing game.
Yeah, do you agree with that, Laurie? Because Arteta talks about transmitting energy.
What James said there is an excellent point, because myself and James were in the car on the way down here, and I said to James, I actually said this, I had to check the result again last night. That we didn't lose, like, you know what I mean? I get that there's a sense of deflation, because we went into that game against Tottenham with a lot of optimism. We're at home, we're expected to win. I get all that. But sometimes you've got to look at it, you've got to take the positives out of it. Even though we didn't play at our best, we were far from our best. In fact, it could be argued that Spurs won on points, if you use boxing analogy. However, we did not lose the match. Yeah. And, you know, as you said, we're still unbeaten. So, you know, everyone should just calm down and use this game on Wednesday, not just as an opportunity to try and win a competition, which should be obvious. Yeah. But as James said, it's a new challenge, different look, a chance for some of the players on the periphery of the team, your likes of your Smith Rose, your Reece Nelsons, people like that, Kivior, to get some minutes and go again.
Again, I'll echo it. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Be
because
positive.
Amen. Because I know if the energy after that game, and I understand we didn't beat them at home, but it just feels like, did we lose? Like, and people say, you know, the season's done. What's the point in carrying on supporting them? Stop watching the games then. Like,
I think, and I said on full time, I think it's the overload of bad information yesterday. It wasn't just the dropping points. It was the fact that we'd been a goal ahead twice in that game. It was the injuries that seem to be piling up now. I know we'll touch on that in a sec. It was the manner of the goals we conceded. It just felt like one after another. It was kind of the context around it. So I understood the deflation in the moment, but we just need to do everything Laurie said. Pick ourselves up, bounce back, on we go. It's another competition. And like what I won't have is people saying it doesn't matter, and then they're furious when we don't win this game. So which is it? Because if you want him to play all the kids and have everyone ready for Bournemouth, that's fine. But then it makes me worried. Like, why are you putting so much stock in the Bournemouth game? Like, we can't treat every Premier League game like it's a final. Right? We are 6 Premier League games in, and it feels like the run in last season.
100%.
And it's just exhausting. Like, it's still early. We haven't even kicked a ball in the 4th competition that's still to come, and we're looking fine in everything else. Let's just see where we are.
It feels like the Champions League final is upon us or something. The way
I would counter that by saying as well, let's be honest, it's the expectation that kills. That's the phrase, isn't it? So, as I said, we went into that game yesterday with a lot of positive anticipation. We were going into this game unbeaten in the league, coming off the back of a tremendous performance in the midweek in the Champions League, smoked PSV. So we're thinking, yeah, man, you know what I mean, we're going to beat Tottenham. But to be fair to Tottenham, they're a good side and they tested us, but we didn't lose. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that the fans have got to.
Will people question our standards? Are they saying that, will people be saying, well, your standards aren't high enough if you're not that annoyed about the game?
No, we are annoyed. But what James made the point. We are annoyed. We've expressed that yesterday in the fan cams and everything else. Now you look forward.
Right.
The game's on Wednesday against Brentford. It's a London derby. It's a cup competition. It's a different challenge. Let's embrace that and be positive about it, rather than looking back and thinking, oh, we didn't beat Spurs. Oh, we're not as good as we thought we were. You know what I mean? Don't get consumed with all the negativity.
I agree.
Look forward.
Yeah, agree with that. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. And now I'm going to go to some news, because we did touch on, the bad negative news that kind of led to, I guess, fans feeling a certain way. The injuries were a big one. And I'm also going to touch on David Raya, which we're going to do more information come the Predicted 11 video. But quickly, David Raya, though he has signed on an initial loan deal instead of a permanent one, meaning that were Arsenal to play Brentford in the Premier League, he could not play. However, ruling 6.3, I had to be official, so I'm reading off the phone, so I don't want to get any of this wrong. 6.3 of the EFL's Carabao Cup 2023-2024 rule book says the following: players registered on a temporary basis will not be eligible to play unless the club holding his full registration gives its written consent, also subject to any restrictions on the number of loan players prescribed by applicable Premier League rules or league regulations. Now, Arsenal did sought after that written consent from Brentford, and I believe from what I've read online that they are happy for him to play and be available for this game. So there you go, David Raya is available, which I don't know, it feels a bit harsh because I want to see Ramsdale in the game, but you know what, we'll get to that in the Predicted 11 video, so don't worry about that. And also, there was some breaking news from online. I think Sam McBell saying about, the players will be available for the Man City game, the likes of Gabriel Martinelli, Declan Rice, please tell me if there's anyone else that...
Thomas Partey.
And Thomas Partey
and
as well.
Andrew Trossard.
Wow,
Yeah.
so that is amazing news.
That's great news.
And the information behind that will be on the channel as well, so check that out as well. There'll be a breaking news video on that. So that should put us in more higher spirits come, I know City's a bit away, but especially going ahead for this this game against Brentford as well. Just quickly, guys, we're going to get your predictions and kind of the player you'll be most worried about in this game. I mean, I know Brian Mbeumo's on 4 goals in 6 games. He's been kind of electric, stepped up to the plate considering Ivan Toney hasn't been there. But anyone you're worried about in your score prediction, James?
Mbeumo is, I think, their best player. I think Rico Henry's a real outlet from left back. They've got some talented midfielders, the likes of Norgard Jensen and all that. I don't know how much they're going to rotate in game. Is Visa leading the line in the absence of Tony? Well. He gets himself some important goals every now and again. I sort of see this being a game that, if Arsenal don't overly rotate, and like I said, we'll tackle that in the Predicted 11, when we settle into a decent, run, I think we'll be okay. I predict on Forever Arsenal that this actually goes to penalties, because I believe that. So basically, I think a draw after 90, and then it's a bit of a lottery after that. But I just think that Arteta will rotate. I think we'll look at the fact we've got 3 away games and Bournemouth and Lens. I actually think we'll be really tempted to kind of make wholesale changes. And I'm talking El Neni, Havertz,
Academy?
Vieira all playing.
No academy?
No, I think we just got enough to rotate within the squad, and maybe 2 or 3 players who played against Tottenham will start as well against Brentford. But because of that, and I think Brentford will take it fairly seriously, I think they'll think, we've not made the best start to the league, we'll need some momentum, let's get going. I think they'll go fairly strong. And I don't think we'll have enough to beat them over 90 with that team, because there's a lot of players that I think are lacking confidence that are likely to going to come into this team full confidence. So, yeah.
Okay. Laurie, you're the man that you're worried about from Brentford. Let me know that, and then your score prediction.
Well, obviously, we don't know how strong or otherwise Brentford are going to go, but, the obvious ones, Mbeumo, Wissa, are the guys that immediately spring to mind.
Yep.
But what I would say in terms of Arsenal, and again, we are going to talk about this at a later date, but if there is to be rotation, which I heavily suspect there will, it's got to be what I call meaningful rotation.
So no academy, no young, no players, youth team players stepping up.
Not really, not at this stage. I want to win this game, man.
Wow,
I think it's
agree.
important to get over this hurdle. Brentford are a decent side and they are at home. It's the first round of this competition for us. I think we should go in fairly strong. There are guys on the periphery of the team, I mentioned them before, the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelsons, Kiviors, people like that, even El Neni. They've not played yet. Yes, it'd be nice to see them play, but I do want to see a sprinkling of first teamers as well. And I want to throw something else into the mix. We've been criticised, rightly or wrongly, for not scoring enough goals, right? So I want to see the manager try and play a strong team and use tactics that will try and address our lack of goals so far this season.
Okay.
So if that means Eddie and Jesus and those guys play, yeah.
Okay. Score prediction.
I think it's just a win. I think we need a decent performance. I think a lot of people would have been disappointed after the game against Tottenham. We need to bounce back from that. And I think we will do. I'm going Arsenal 2-0.
Okay. Listen, I've been wanting Arsenal to, dissipate. I don't know if it's the word. Dissipate a team.
Decimate.
There we go. English. A team,
it's all right,
but
man, I've got your back.
Thank you very much. But I don't expect.
I was very good at English.
I keep expecting, big results from Arsenal, but I just know that's not how the Premier League is and other competitions. This is top level football. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 to Arsenal. I think it'll be a hard game. I think Arteta will rotate as well, but hopefully not too crazily because I do want to win this game like we've mentioned before. The Bees will be buzzing for this game, but let's hope the Gunners will be firing as well. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. I actually spent a long time setting up that. Thank you very much. I didn't prepare Decimate, but I prepared that one.
Oh, well done.
Well, there you go. Hopefully we get the win. Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And let's hope Arsenal can get through to the next round of the Cup. I'll see you again very soon. Take care.